Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Cassandra Terry, your manifesting miracle maker, and it is Friday. We have made it to the end of another work week. It is Focus Friday. For those of you who have been with me all week, welcome back. I thank you so much for your continued support. For those of you that are stopping by for the first time, welcome. Come on in, get to know me, get to know the folks that are hanging out with me every morning. Today on Fridays, we always talk about focus. Good morning, Bridget. How are you? All right, jump in. And today we are going to talk about focus from two different points of view. So, when I think about focus, the first way, um, think about focus as if you're looking through a pair of binoculars. When you first look through them, everything's a little blurry, right? You can't really see what's in front of you. So you have to do some adjusting. You turn on those things and you bring what it is that you're trying to see into view. Someone on Ellen, good morning on TikTok. So, our first way of looking at focus is about bringing what we want into view. And typically, when we talk about that, we're talking about clarity. And so, in order for you to really get after your goals, in order for you to really put energy behind what it is that you want, you have to have clarity. You have to be clear about what it is that you, in fact, want. So, let's talk about some questions that you can ask yourself that can help you gain that clarity if you don't already have it. Good morning, Kim. So, starting with the big dream. If there were no constraints on your life, if money wasn't an issue, if time wasn't an issue, if there was absolutely nothing holding you back, what would you be doing? What would you do with yourself? Good morning, Alicia. Have you ever thought about that question? A lot of the things we do within the constraints of, what's happening in our lives. Can I afford it? Do I have time for it? Will I be able to work it in with my kids, my job, my other responsibilities? For just a moment, throw away all of those constraints, at least mentally. We're not going to throw away our kids and our families for real, but we are going to wipe all of that out of our minds for just a moment and allow ourselves to dream. Because when you dream, you'll be surprised at the things that start to come up, and you'll remember things that you dreamt of before, things that were important to you before, things that you'd really like to do. Allow yourself to find those things again, because those are the things that light you up, that get you excited about life. And yesterday we talked about living your life on fire versus life on autopilot. That's what we're continuing that in that vein, but you have to be clear about what that is. So if there were no constraints, what would you be doing? Good morning, Karen. What really makes you happy? What lights you up? What do you get excited about? So, for those who are just joining in, we're talking about focus, and we're talking about focus from two different ways today. But the first way that we're going to look at focus is clarity, getting really clear about what it is you desire. And I use the example of binoculars. When you first look through them, everything's a little blurry, and you have to make some adjustments so that you bring whatever that object is that you're trying to focus on into make it to make it clear, to really bring it into focus. So these questions help you to start to think about what it is that you really desire and to gain that clarity, to focus in on what really does it for you. So we started by if there were no constraints, if nothing was holding you back, what would you be doing with your life? If money was no object, if time was no object, if you didn't care what other people thought, if you didn't feel like you had to show up a certain way because life had taught you that's how and who you were supposed to be, if you remove those types of things from the equation for just a moment and allow yourself to dream and envision your life, what would you be doing? Who would you be doing it with? How would you be spending your time? What are you doing when you are most at peace? What are some of the things that you're naturally good at? Are you gifted in a particular area? Do people have a tendency to come to you for particular types of questions all the time? That's maybe an area of gifting for you, an area that you're naturally good at, an area where you put out energy that says, I can do this, I know this, and people just kind of naturally gravitate towards you for that. What are some activities that you would do even if you didn't get paid for them? The job that you, career that you're doing, what you're studying for, if you had to do it and there was no paycheck associated with it, assuming you can still eat, you can still pay your bills, because remember, we're dreaming. But would you still be involved in those activities? Would you still do that thing? Those are the things that light you up, that bring you joy. And a great life is a life that allows us to meet our financial goals and and be lit and excited about life because we're spending our time doing the things that we really love. Are you gifted as a singer? Well, do you sing? Does anybody know? I truly believe with everything in me that every one of us is born with natural gifts, and those gifts were placed in us before we ever took that first breath, and they're our way out. They're our way up. They're our way over. They're our way through whatever circumstances are holding us back. The situation that you were born into, completely out of your control. What you were taught in the beginning years of your life, that foundation that was set, all that's out of your control. But if any of it is not working, if any of it is not the ideal for you, there's gifting inside of you. There are gifts and tools and things that you have that were designed to better your situation. The question is, do you put any time into that gift? Sometimes we take things for granted that come to us naturally. People who can sing may not think much about singing because it's something that they were born with. It's something that they can just naturally do. Then you've got people like me, can't hold a tune in a bucket, but I love to sing. I love music. So for me, I have to try harder. I have to listen harder. I have to tune in just to make sure I'm not, messing up the whole situation. So because it's something that's not a natural gift, I have to work at it. I'll never forget. My daughters are 2 years apart. The oldest one, natural athlete, very effervescent personality, involved in everything. So when her sister came along 2 years later, she was always going to be 2 years younger, which meant a lot of the things that the oldest one was doing, the other one wasn't quite old enough yet. But because she wanted to hang with her sister, because she wanted to do the things that her sister was doing, she learned how to do them much earlier. She worked really, really hard to be able to keep up. And that work ethic that she was almost forced to develop because of the position in life that she was born into. She was the second kid, loved her sister, and wanted to be able to do the same things. So, in order for her to keep up, she had to work hard. So, at 3, she was learning to do things that a 5-year old was doing. And that has carried her forward for her entire life. That girl has a work ethic like no person I've ever met. She believes that she can do anything and she'll just do the work to do it. It's a little bit harder when we're the firstborn. When we're the firstborn, we think it's our job to take care of everybody else. I'm going to take care of my little sister. I am going to try and set a good example, but I didn't have to work hard to catch up. You had to catch up with me because I was already here. And that was so me and my daughter, the firstborns, we have a different point of view. We see things differently. We're more the taker care of her. It's just our natural being to try and take care of people. And so that's what comes out naturally. Where my younger daughter, her natural gift is just to roll up her sleeves and get to work. And guess what? My sister behind me is the exact same way. You will not find a harder worker than my sister Kim. And it didn't dawn on me the difference until later on in life when we were adults. I want to say it was an experience where I think there was a death in the family, or maybe close friends around the family. And I am going to show up. I am going to be supportive. I'm going to help financially if I can. I want to sit and nurture and talk with you and make sure you're okay. Where was my sister? Everywhere, sleeves rolled up, serving food, hauling stuff in, breaking tables down, doing whatever needed to be done to make the event what it needed to be. She was taking all the physical burden off of the family and serving so that they were able to sit and enjoy people like me who was talking with them. And she was serving from a physical perspective. I hadn't even thought about it when I got there. I was driving in from someplace else, and my mind was on getting to my friend and making sure I could sit and talk and make sure, and be supportive. And when I saw her working, I was so impressed. And I was like, my mind didn't even go there. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to nurture. I'm trying to make sure. But guess what? They needed their food to be served, they needed to be physically taken care of. And for my sister, and for my daughter, that's a natural response. It's the first thing that they think of. They just roll up their sleeves and get to work, and you don't have to worry. And so, different points of view because of the way we grew up and the position that we had in life, or whatever, different talents. Neither one is right or wrong. They're both necessary. But I noticed it, and I looked at my sister and I was like, wow, she is one of the hardest working people I know. Always busy, never sitting still. It reminds me of the Mary and Martha in the Bible. One of them was getting side eyed because they were sitting and talking to Jesus and wanting to wash his feet and do all that other stuff. And then the other sister was like, hey, we got stuff to do. We need to get the food ready. We need to bring everything together. Two points of view, both serving in their own way, and learning that one's not better or than the other, but loving and supporting from two different perspectives. The people in need end up getting all their needs met. It's a journey to learn how to respect and understand when people have a different focus than what you have. We have to learn to honor each other's gifts and talents and focus, instead of trying to pull them and entice them to do things the way we do it. If everybody was doing the same thing the same way, there would be so much that would never get done. And watching my sister in and how she responds to things taught me that. And it was a lesson that I needed to learn. So, focus, bringing things into view, really being having clarity about what you desire and what you're willing to do to get it. So, I hope y'all jotted those questions down. I'm going to run through them one more time, and then we're going to look at focus from a different point of view. So, if there were no constraints, if money wasn't an object, if time wasn't an object, if the opinion of others was not a concern, what would you be doing with your life? What really makes you happy? What lights you up? What do you get excited about having the opportunity to do? What are you doing when you are most at peace? What are you naturally good at? What are your gifts and talents? And would you be doing the things that you're doing even if you didn't get paid? If there was no reward associated with it, a monetary award or a cheering of the crowd, would you still be doing it? Run through those questions every now and then to level set with yourself, to check in with yourself, and make sure that you are spending your time, that you are living your life and putting your precious resources of energy and finances and whatever else you put into it, that you're actually investing your resources in what's going to give you the ultimate return: joy, peace, happiness. If you can have those things and have your needs met, you are winning at life in a huge, huge way. So that's the first way we look at focus is around clarity. The second way that I wanted to look at focus today is the other definition of focus is the object of your attention, that thing that you're really dug in, focused on, right? So it's the object of your attention. When you have something that you're focused on, something that you really want to accomplish, a goal, what can you do to give it the focus, the attention that it needs so that it can move from a dream to reality? Those are the things that you want to do. So if you have a goal and you have it on the side of the page, stacked, you'll see, or you'll see them spelled out. Um, um, Today we're going to use the word magic, but it's capital M period, capital A period, capital G period, capital I period, capital C. When you see a word written like that, it's an acrostic, and each letter is a word, is the beginning of a word in and of itself. So we're going to talk about how we can give focus and move our dreams into reality. And we're going to use, to help you guys remember it, we're going to use the word magic. And you'll see magic come. So the first thing that you want to do is to you want to set schedules, you want to have milestones, you want to have guidelines for what it is that you're trying to accomplish. You've got to measure it. So that's your first M. You have to be able to measure it and come back and measure your progress along the way. So set a schedule, set time aside to work on it, and have milestones. You've got the big ticket item, what it is you're really trying to accomplish, and then you've got the little milestones along the way that's going to get you there. That's something that's measurable. So our first letter in magic is M, and it stands for measure. The second thing you want to do is you want to tell somebody that's close to you, somebody that you trust, your trusted advisor, because that gives you your A, accountability. Now you've got at least one person that's going to cheer you on, that's going to hold you accountable, and that you can sync with to make sure that things are going well. You have somebody you can dump with when things are not going so well. And instead of them jumping in and going, girl, I don't even know why you're wasting your time, they're going to encourage you. Have an accountability partner. Tell someone what it is you're trying to accomplish. It's not bragging when you tell the right person. When you tell the right person, they get in it with you. They're invested. They see you doing something that's counter to what it is you want to accomplish, and they'll call you on it. They'll go say, hey, you can't do that. Remember, you said you wanted to accomplish this. This isn't going to get you there. That's a good friend. That is a friend indeed. So, first, we're going to measure, and then we're going to have someone that helps us to stay accountable. And then I think it's important that you collect your success stories. I was watching a live yesterday, and she called it a brag sheet. She encourages people in on their jobs to collect a brag sheet where you kind of have the highlights, not like a full blown resume, but it's the highlights of your current position. What are the things that you've really accomplished? What are the things that you're really proud of? That brag sheet helps you when you want to have a conversation with your manager about your next position, when you want to have a conversation about, hey, it's time for a raise, whatever the case may be. It's really easy if you've documented for yourself those wins, those are the little wins along the way, as well as the big accomplishment, right? So you want to gather. That's the G in magic. You want to gather the evidence that things are working well. The other thing that it does, when you can look back and see what you've written, how you've accomplished so much so along the way, you start to build confidence. You see yourself getting it done. You're like, all right, this is happening. I can see myself making progress towards the goal. I may not be there yet, but I started way back there. Now I'm here. I'm making progress. So gather the evidence. Another thing that I believe that's crucial when you really want something is you're going to invest in it. Invest in your skills. If you're a singer, take some singing lessons. If you're a writer, make sure you've got the right tools. Whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you're wanting to do more of, make sure that you're developing those skills. And that's not necessarily a monetary investment. I'm not saying you have to go hire somebody to do this or that. I'm saying that you're taking the time and you're intentional and you're making sure that you're growing your eminence. You're getting better at what it is that you do because you're doing it more and more. You're investing in it. There may be little things that you can adjust along the way. I joined a writing club and she has us writing every day, doing journal prompts, and she's taught us about different types of writing because it opens up my mind. I know what I know, and that's all I know. So when I take the time to work with someone else who knows or has a different perspective, my skills are growing and I can incorporate that into the different things that I do and I get better. So invest in yourself. Give yourself time, give yourself energy, give yourself whatever it is that you need to grow this thing that you want to do more of, that you want to be more accomplished in. So that's the I in magic. And then the last letter in magic is C, and that's commit. You've got to carve out some regular time. And Bridget, you and I were just talking about this morning. You have to carve out regular time to work on your craft. You have to, you have to, you have to. If you're not doing it on a regular basis, how can you expect to get better at it, right? So every day, I've got some time and sometimes it looks like I'm doing absolutely nothing. But the majority of what I'm doing is these acrostics come to me. Points that I want to cover with you guys come to me. Things that I want to blog about come to me. So one piece of time that I have to carve out every day is quiet time. I have to allow my brain to rest and just receive anything that may be coming up. And that gives me the opportunity to create some of the things that we talk about Monday through Friday. So for me, quiet time, nothing time is important because my brain slows down, it relaxes, and that's when I'm able to be more creative. That's when most of us are our most creative. So commit to a regular schedule. I also write on a regular basis because I blog. I took a class. The first class, there was no charge for it. There's a lot of stuff out there that we can take advantage of. And it was called Get in Front of the Camera. And it was for people who were shy going live. I was posting videos every day on a regular basis for quite some time. But I never went live. It was something about it. That little inner critic came up quick, and it was things like, what if nobody shows up? What if people start to troll and say mean things? What if? And I was so consumed by the what if that I was acting as if those things were already happening. And then I would do absolutely nothing, right? So I allowed fear to control my reality. So for 4 days, I did her live challenge and I went live just in her group every day. She would give us a topic, we would practice that in her group. And then the next day, after those 4 days were up, they were Monday through Thursday. That Friday, I went live, and I've been live every day, Monday through Friday since, barring family emergencies and things like that. So you have to invest in yourself. You have to carve out time. If you want your dreams to come true, if you want to actually hit your goals, make magic. Measure your progress, be accountable, gather evidence of your success, invest in yourself, and commit to a regular scheduled time to work on what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So there you go. That is it for today. And magic came to me, guys, about 10 minutes or so before this call started. I had the majority of it, I had my notes written down and I was looking at when focus is the object of your attention, and I saw the words that I had highlighted, and it was actually there was no G, and it was upside down. The M was the last point, and I kept looking at it, and I went, I think if I had a G word, I would have another acrostic, and I love those. And so You just never know where inspiration is going to come. You never know when it's going to come to you and how it's going to come to you. But if you're open to it, if you're working at what it is that you love, you'll be surprised at the little gems and nuggets that'll come your way on a regular basis. I'm talking every day, Monday through Friday. I'm jotting notes and putting stuff together and hoping that I'm providing something that will encourage you guys and help you incorporate things into your life that's going to help you meet your goals, right? And so in doing that, it's just amazing what comes to me and how I'm blessed. So it is definitely a two-way street. You guys showing up and interacting on a regular basis is gold to me. It's a great way for me to start my day, and I appreciate you all so much. I see lots of comments that have come in from Facebook and YouTube, and I appreciate you guys. I see a little bit on TikTok as well. Welcome and thank you all for showing up. If you see the videos later, please hashtag replay so that I know that you were here. And the one thing that I keep forgetting to ask you guys to do. So I'm going to ask you now, and hopefully your memory will be better than mine. Share the lives. When you come on, please share it. And I'm trying to build the audience. I'm trying to get the word out. I am trying to share what I'm sharing with you guys with as many people as possible. I do believe that the right people show up and the people are getting the message that need to get it. And so, but I do want to ask you guys if y'all will help me to get the word out and to grow the base and just share. Like, share, comment, all those things help the algorithm push it out even more. And those of you who are regular, you're already doing it. I see your comments, I see you sharing, and I appreciate you so, so very much. And if you would continue to do that, I would appreciate it. So, you all have a wonderful Focus Friday. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a wonderful, restful weekend. And we will be back here Monday at 7 a.m. for Mindset Monday. All right. You guys enjoy. Thank you.